Hello, this is Savannah. Um, this is my first video on my channel, and I am a little bit nervous, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time. We're talking a little over 10 years, if not more. And this channel is going to be focused on uncovering the truth, trying to get closer to God, and trying to really get a better grasp on this reality, if that's possible, with all of the revelations that have been made by me in my life recently. So, when I was a child growing up, I was raised Christian. I was told what was right and wrong morally. I was given all the pillars of success, and I thought everything was hunky-dory, and, you know, I even had an idol worshiping, way about myself. I liked many artists. I was a musician at a very young age. I played on the piano, of course, just dilly-dallying around, and then it moved into lessons, and then when I got into my secondary schooling, I was in the band for about 8 years. About 8 or 9 years of my life. I was in jazz band, concert band, not symphonic. I was in wind symphony, wind ensemble, pit orchestra. I was all over, and I was fully enthralled in the world of music. And when I was younger, I thought I was strange because I didn't really fit in with the rest of my peers as far as the music I was listening to, and I thought, oh, well, I must be really different, and then I eventually started to embrace it, and I thought everything was good from there. Well, yeah. Things changed very, very, very slowly. It was a slow process that led me to where I am as far as my woke state that I am currently in right now, discovering that everything I thought about the world was just absolute, for lack of a better term, cannon fodder. And this is a great place to start. This artist that I pretty much idol worshipped for a good deal of my childhood here, and into my preteen and young adult years. The name of this artist is Gino Vanelli. Just a preface, I'm 22, 23, but I've been listening to this guy since I was before I can remember, but the first time I remember I had to be about 13 or 14. Not sure why I couldn't remember my own age. I'm 23, but yeah, and he breathed a lot of life into me. Every single time I heard his music, it was like the first time. Same goes for many other artists, just to name a few, Elton John, George Michael, Madonna, just to name a few others, Sting, Peter Gabriel, the list goes on. But here's the thing. All of these people, they took a precedence in my life that was above what really mattered. And at the end of the day, it clearly, it only served to hurt me. And it only serves to hurt you who are listening if you continue to say, keep your metaphorical they live shades on. If you haven't heard of the movie, cult classic movie They Live, it's a movie starring the WWF, old days of wrestling, WWF's wrestling star Roddy Piper. And the life of him is very interesting as well, but I don't want to veer off course. He starred in this film, came out in 1988, directed by John Carpenter, same guy who directed Halloween, The Thing, the list goes on. Very notorious in Hollywood, and anyway, the movie goes on talking about how there's this blue-collar guy, and he's working amongst his peers who are also in the same boat, and they're not so sure what's going on around them, but as Roddy Piper's character moves forward in the movie, he discovers what's really going on and how they're trying to cover it up, and there's all these typical things that are in the process of waking up that take place in the film. And it's symbolized by these glasses that he wears that he needs at first to see the truth, but then eventually he doesn't need them on at all. And he just sees everything that's deception at its finest in every corner, in every area of society, which is what I see now myself too. And so, with that being said, let's talk about this song by Gino Vanelli called The Evil Eye. The song came out in 1978 off the album Brother to Brother. This was an album that I've seen in person via my father's record collection. He was a big fan, or is a big fan still to this day. I still do love this album, despite what I've discovered about this artist and his career. This album I will hold near and dear until I can't anymore, until I can finally let it go. But, every song on the album, in my eyes, is a hit. Every single song. And the only songs that I really didn't pay too much attention to were only a few off of this list here. But this one of those songs is The Evil Eye. I never listened. It's one of those songs you just heard and then you just skip past. Skip past and keep going to the next song, and well, this is a song that I should not have so easily skipped over. Let's just say that much. Because there's some elements to this song that allude to the fact that Gino Vanelli is not who I thought he was as an artist. He's describing in this song what I can only describe as a supernatural experience. And I started to realize that this was abnormal in nature when I took a closer look at these lyrics that we're about to read right now. Alright, so first verse, it says a lot, but I just want to explain what I'm seeing and help others to see what I'm seeing in the process. So, starts out by saying, Who's that a-knockin' at my door tonight? Leave me alone till there's morning light. You live and learn. You make mistakes. You can't imagine why the fire burns for heaven's sake. Look out for the evil eye. Okay, well, first thing that I noticed about this song in this first verse is the first line where it says, who's that a-knockin' at my door tonight? Well, a lot of people would say that what he's describing right there sounds supernatural in nature. Not exactly talking about something happening that one would describe as happening in the physical realm. Because, I mean, you'd think that he would be talking about someone in particular, and I tried to think about how he could be talking about a drug dealer knocking at his door, perhaps an ex-girlfriend or ex-lover, or anyone, a person. That's not what he's talking about, because as the verse goes on, there's just something metaphysical about his lyrics and how they are written. And of course, the allusion to heaven. You find heaven written in a lot of lyrics. A lot of lyrics that are obviously sang in a secular nature, which means there should be no reason they're mentioning heaven. And so, with that being said, I think that really should be enough. Just for the entire song, just for everyone to see that he's not really talking about anyone in this physical realm that we live in currently, right? But the icing on the cake is when he says, evil eye. Look out for the evil eye. Now, a lot of artists have references to some sort of Illuminati symbolism in their songs on their album covers. Maybe it's a magazine cover that they did at one point in time. But written out this plain in this plane of English, I don't think there should be much of an argument that springs up as to what he's referring to. If you know what I am talking about, then I don't need to say what he's referring to. But, moving right along, because I don't have much time, the next verse says, who is that damsel with that wicked stare? Get off my case and take your sins elsewhere. You love and learn, you cross that bridge, you want to pacify. The tables turn and you've dug your ditch. Look out for the evil eye. This almost sounds reminiscent of some sort of poem, or if we're talking about something that's probably more likely, it sounds more like a spell. And that's probably what it is, the more that I've thought about it as I've looked at more and more of these lyrics of these artists that I liked, loved, and adored, practically worshiped, which was sinful to say the least, but I've since learned from my ways, and I'm currently still learning and how to work on distancing myself from these artists. But the point is, he's talking about, essentially here, as he says, he's talking about a damsel with a wicked stare. He's